We are on the last key step of step 2 of launching, rebranding your own cleaning business, however, which way you use this tool for your benefit. In step 2, it is get legit or get lost. Let's go ahead and share the screen. And the last key step in this part is to financial systems, essentially just making sure that you already have a place where you're tracking all your finances. I want you to take note of where this is placed on the checklist. I'm always going to mention step 1 is always get your mind right. Make sure you have your vision so that your business planning is always going to draw back to your lifestyle, your vision. Not based on your current resources, although you can take consideration, but we're thinking big. But we're going to start with your vision first and make sure that your business decisions align and fulfill that lifestyle, because God forbid you start your business, you get the money and it's not profitable, it doesn't actually support you, you have more stress. So let's from the beginning get that out of the way and understand what that is. Step 2 is get legit and get lost. This is we're really starting the cleaning business, getting everything, the foundation. And we're at the last key point, which is establish your financial system. This is where I'm going to help you. I just made a recent TikTok on it, but this is what I'm going to help you determine how to pay yourself, how to start with allocating what money goes where and why you do it. And then we're just going to talk about the key terms that you should know as a business owner and what that looks like for you. Okay, let's get right into it. I'm gonna actually get it out of your way so you guys can see it. So establishing your financial system, I'm going to talk about your bank, your business banking, your taxes, how to pay yourself, how to pay your employees, what that looks like, and how to systemize it. And it, again, the reason why it's in step 2 before you actually get into getting clients and getting your cleaners is because you want to make sure that you already have a plan, financial plan, and what it means, like how you tracking it, because there's no point of starting a business. You have no clear goal and you're just getting clients for what reason? Just to say you have a cleaning business. There is a point to your business, and this is what this is all about. So why financial system matters? Like, just you should think of it like your business as a car. Your financial system is the dashboard that tells you everything. So think of it like how much gas do you need? That's like, do you have? How much gas you have? That's your cash. How fast are you going? That's your sales. If the engine is running well, that's your profit. When something needs attention, that's your expenses. Think of it like a car. But being very important, I want you guys to know that this is for educational purpose based on my experience, based on mistakes and what has successful in my business when I had a cleaning business. Technically, I still have a cleaning business, but I'm thinking where I want to be. So when I had a cleaning business, every business situation is different. So I'm going to highly recommend that you also consult an accountant and a financial advisor. This is why I do believe you need a business bank account, because a financial advisor is going to help with your business decision and where to put things as well. But this is a great way to start. So opening a bank account, we talked about this in the last key step, but I want to give you some suggestions on what to consider when you're looking for a business bank account. Know that business bank account most likely have fees to it. Don't make that deter you. You're a business owner, so your income should be separate too. But what I want you to think about when it comes to finding the right bank, you could use your personal bank. Like I sticked with my personal bank. I was RBC, we had personal. I just sticked it with business as well. Now, I actually tried to go with BMO, but I didn't like the business transaction. I didn't like the speaking with the advisor. And I want you guys to understand, I don't care if it's day one. I don't care if you have negative in your bank account. I don't care if you have a team of 15 or a team of 50. The people you choose to work with in your business is very important. So you should choose wisely who you're going to allow, what bank you're going to allow to hold your money, to discuss your business. So if you don't feel comfortable, if you feel like they don't have your best interests at mind, dip the hell out, because a bank is a business too, and you don't have to associate with them if you do not feel like that they can support you. So that's my biggest suggestion. But going ahead and finding your bank if you do not already have one and you don't feel safe with one already. Okay, so what you typically would need to open a bank account, this is something that your bank will tell you, but you're going to obviously have your business registered. You're going to have your business license. They're going to ask you for that. They might want your tax numbers, and you're definitely going to need your business address. Should you run your business from your home, which most cleaning business owners start with, it's totally fine. It's just like you just need an actual address, and it's not private. So it's not public information, as in like you don't need to share it. So you do need to make sure that your address is allocated to a physical address. Okay. Now, you're also going to want to make sure you have an accounting software. Typically, QuickBooks is well known, and QuickBooks can integrate with most of your CRM systems, whether you use Booking or Jobber, they all integrate. Having a software is going to be your lifesaver during tax season. Okay. And it's also going to help you with organization, because typically with these softwares, you could take pictures of your receipts, anything that's happening in your business, and upload it and have that there. So when it's time for tax season, everything is smooth. But it's also going to help you as we go through this actual checklist of the numbers that you want to look out for to make sure your business is even profitable. So yes, you should have an accounting software already set up, and it's about $15 to $30 a month to have a software. CRM systems like Jobber, like Booking, they will help you. They will have a dashboard of your income, but it's not going to help you track your expenses and see the health of your business. So I do recommend that. And some times QuickBooks like that, you can like even pay your subcontractors depending on where you are. Now, depending on where you are in the world, QuickBooks might be feasible. So I also gave a few other options that you can use. Wave is also a CRM system that you can use as well. And then at the end of this tool, there's going to be always prompts so that you can find the best solution for you in your city and for your business goals. Just going to say, set up that CRM and get connected. Now, this is a really important part that I have a whole list, but I want you guys to know for yourself what's going on here. Is know your key money numbers. Know your numbers. Most people think that all you need to know is how revenue and profit and expenses. There's so much more to understand numbers wise to ensure that your business is profitable. This is a mistake that I made for many years. I don't think it's a mistake as much as like if you guys know my journey, I'm relearning my relationship with money. So a lot of my inability to look at numbers had to do with a lot of fear and tension. So if you're something like me, I am going to suggest that you do what I did. I stepped back and got support, and I'm deliberately learning to love to manage and steward money. And if you need to understand that for yourself, to be honest with yourself, because there's no way that you can aspire to have a profitable business if you're afraid to look at your own numbers. Okay. And I'm saying that because I've been there. So I say that. So let's briefly go over what numbers you are looking for. And then I also have an opportunity because in my course, there is a few Excel sheets that you can use. But again, there is also an AI prompt to help you build out your own Excel sheet if you want to do it. But again, if you don't want to actually make the Excel sheet, you just go ahead and join my course, and all this information plus how to track it would be there too, like actual Excel sheets, and it's easy for you. So let's get into the first one. So revenue goal. First and foremost, everyone starts a business and they say, I want to make 10K. So that's your revenue goal. Just simply the number that you want to be making your business. This is before any expenses, profit. You're just saying, I want to generate X amount of dollars. Then there's a profit margin. So this is a percent of the money that stays after the expenses and paying yourself. So how much is genuinely left over after you pay yourself? What is your business making? After that, then it's average service value. It's actually very important to know on average how much you closing your jobs. And the reason why you want to know that it's because it's going to help you plan out your future months based on your average closing rates. So if you know your average closing rate is $300 and you want to make $10,000, then you're going to know that I'm going to need X amount of leads, convert X amount of those leads, because on average, I make $300 per job, and that number is going to help me get $10,000. A lot of people don't do that. And you're just chasing clients. You have no idea what your goal is or how much leads you actually need. You think that you're having problems getting clients. You have no idea what the clients, what goal, what does the clients do for you and your business outside of money, because your client should be your first in mind, which is going to help you be a strong business owner, is to always think, how do I serve with value to my clients? Obviously, in business numbers, your clients does support the growth of your business. Next one is your monthly fixed expenses. So what are you paying for, investing for, I should say? What are you investing for every month fixed? So you know that every month you pay X amount of dollars for ads, you put it aside. You know that if you are doing a cleaning, that you typically spend X amount. Well, that's not actually fixed because it's still variable. If you don't buy a vacuum one month and then vacuum next month, it would be variable. But what are your fixed? You know that your insurance is going to be always coming out every single month. Things like that. What's your fixed expenses? Next is customer acquisition cost. So how much does one client cost in your business? What I mean by that is, if you are, whether you spend on like ads, whether you pay for marketing tools, whatever it means, like however, like whatever you're paying to acquire leads, in relation to the clients that you actually get, and how much do you actually close them at. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm a visual learner, so even to me, it sounds confusing. But if I'm spending $100 on marketing and I closed out a client for $300, I'm in a positive of a client acquisition, because I only spent $100 and I closed a client of 300, so my positive is 200. Very simple, basic ways of calculating that. But hey, you could just chat GPT and ask what your cost per acquisition is, and or I have Excel sheets that will help with the actual formulas in it. So next thing you want to know is where we are here. Yeah, you guys not gonna see it. Is cost per click. This is when you typically paying for ads. So if you're doing Google LSA, every time someone clicks an ad or someone calls you, how much do you have to pay every time someone calls from your ads? And usually when you use an ad service, they actually give you those numbers, so that you don't have to really calculate yourself. Conversion rate, the percentage of leads that actually become paying customers. If you don't know how many people you're converting. So I get people say, it's hard for me to get clients and I get few people to reach out to me. I'm going to ask, so what's your conversion rate? Because if you have 2 people calling you and you can close 2 of them, your conversion rate's 100. You're killing it. Now, really your problem is to increase your leads. But if you had 2 people reach out to you and you couldn't close any of them, then your conversion rate is 0. But if you can close 1, your conversion rate is 50%. Knowing these numbers is going to help you, again, with your future planning, because if you know how often or how well you can close your leads at, then you're going to know, if you know how your conversion rate, you know on average how much each job is, then you're going to know I need 20 leads to close at 50%. So it's 10 that becomes a client at 300. 300 times 10 is $3,000. Then you know I need to make sure I'm getting at least 20 leads this month so I can close out 10 so I can make 3,000. All right. Next is your labor cost percentage. This is typically, you can still have your labor cost percentage for subcontractors because typically it's for you to know how much you're investing in your employee wages. Simply put that. Client retention. How many, how much how many people are continuously using your service? So if you're a person that's like a one trick pony and all you get leads, you close them out 50%, but they're only working with you once, then your retention rate in order for you to convert those individuals is crappy. And then you wonder, how come my business is not sustainable? Is because you just built a business on one-time clients. Your retention rate is sucks. Once you know your retention rate sucks, then it's now you know what to deal with, what to handle. A lot of people don't know their numbers and they just think, I need clients, I need to increase my prices. But if you know your numbers, then you like your prices are pretty good. You just don't know how to close people. Or you actually close a lot of people, your prices are not high enough. That's why you can't hit your goal. If you just increase it by $100, still close the same amount, then you just increase your monthly by X, Y, and Z. So this is why it's important to have these numbers. Okay, cash flow forecast. This, if you do not know how much you are expected to make in the next 3 to 6 months, I'm telling you right now, you're not a business owner. You're still in your side hustle mindset. Again, most people like myself, I'm not going to get at you, is that most people are afraid to look at these numbers because they think personally I'm a failure. I'm gonna tell you right now, Amazon wasn't a profitable business for the longest time. If not, there's the Amazon that we all look probably once a day on was not a profitable business for a very long time, but they had great cash flow. And overhead percentage. So what most people are mixing up expenses, well, I guess we can go deeper. Your expenses are typically like your immediate use for the service, whereas overhead percentage is like how everything that you need to run your business. So how much of the revenue that's coming in goes into your overhead. And those numbers are going to help you when you have to make decisions on your expansion, because you're going to say, hey, our overhead's too high. We want to cut down so we can put it into training, or we want to put it into X, Y, and Z. This is why knowing these numbers are important. Cost per lead, which is essentially the same thing as client acquisition cost. So I'm not going to go with that. So how much you spend to generate one potential client. And recurring revenue percentage, how many of your monthly revenue comes from recurring clients? That is always going to be your number one goal, is to turn one time into recurring, because recurring is what keeps business going. And it's easier to turn a one-time client that's already paid money in your business once to get them paying again. So never let a lead or an old client die and forget about them unless they say F off, I don't want nothing to do with you. Then they're still in your network. Okay, this is just for you to kind of get an idea of what you already be considering as your common cleaning business expenses overhead. You will go through it and see if it makes sense to you, if it's applicable to you. Because if you're doing subcontractor route, you don't need to take in consideration equipment or transportation unless you are the main person that's going to do the walkthroughs. Then you will consider gas. Staff costs, marketing, software, professional services like lawyers and accountants, especially during tax season, you will want to invest in someone going through your taxes. Uniforms, again, if you are someone who's doing subcontractors, you don't have to worry about that unless you do pay them a percentage to wear your uniforms. Phone bills, training courses, and things like that. Now, I just have here, create simple system to always keep track of your expenses, is to take pictures of your receipts, tracking your CRM systems, and also how often should you be checking your money? Daily. So when I had my VA, which is really important, when you have a VA, you are challenged to be a leader. Okay, when you're by yourself, you can slack off, but when someone's looking up to you to get directions, then you're going to be on your A game. But daily, you should be checking the sales of the last day, how close you are to your weekly goal every single day, every single day. And more importantly, what does that revenue, like how is that dispensed throughout your business? Because it's good to say, yeah, I made $800 today or I make $1,500 today, but how much of that is actually being used to regenerate in your business? How much that was staff? Like that's the mind that you want to be thinking. Weekly, you want to be reviewing all your expenses and payments just to make sure that you're on top of things. Especially sometimes, typically weeklies when you're paying your subcontractors, weeklies when you're paying your VAs, that's when you want to make sure you're on top of those payments and stuff like that. Pay your people. Monthly, check your profit loss statements and compare your goals. So if you do not know if you hit your monthly goal this month, or if you don't know how far you are, if you're a client of mine and I say, I'm gonna always ask, what did you close that job at? Cool. What was the profit margin? If you can't tell me that, you're not thinking. As a CEO, I'm going to ask you, okay, cool. What was your profit loss statement? Like where are you at right now? How far were you from your goal? What do you think you missed it? Why do you think you killed it? Right? Because it's good to get an achievement, but longevity, we need to know why. We need to see the patterns. We need to, that's what gets businesses continuously going. We're not just hustle. We're not just trying to, 10K this month. No, I need to know, is this going to continuously be a positive pattern for the next 3 months, 6 months, 6 years? Or is was this a fluke? I was able to connect to one person today and they gave me the 15K for this month. Cool. Quarterly, you should be looking at bigger trends, especially when it comes to seasonal, like how you can be prepared for your summer seasons, your winter seasons, your slow seasons, right? Quarterly. And then yearly is your full financial review. How much did you make for the year, your taxes, and your planning. Understanding profit in your cleaning business. I'm just going to read this right off the bat. So let's make profit super clear and an easy example. So imagine you clean the house. I'm going to use really small numbers. The client pays you 200. Here's what actually happens to the money. Some's going to go to the business expenses, like cleaning supplies. Again, if you do have employees, right? Then if you have employees, plus if you're doing the cleaning, then you're dealing with the business expenses, cleaning supplies, but whether or not there's business expenses. Some's going to go to the government and taxes. Some's going to be in your pocket for pay, and some's going to stay in the business as saving and true profit. So when someone says, what's your profit? Typically, they're just taking away the expenses, the labor, and it's like, okay, what was next? No, but then how much after when you pay yourself, what is left over? That's your true margin. That's your true profit. And when your first 5 years of your business, your true profit is typically reinvested into your business. Highly recommend you read the book Profit First. Profit First is an amazing book. All new business owners should read it. It really breaks down and gives you suggestions and percentage of how to go ahead and allocate your money in your first few years of your business. I also have a breakdown here in this worksheet as well. I'm not going to read that part. Okay, so here's the suggestions of the profit structures that you could start with if you have no idea how to go about it. If you are someone who has to go back into their numbers and clear things out and get really organized. If you're someone who doesn't even know if their business is healthy, this is what you need to do. If you're someone who feels like you're always booked out, but your bills are still catching up on you, this is what you need to do. Just because you have a business doesn't mean you're automatically a successful, wealthy person. You have to be diligent. I'm talking to myself as well. So if you are the cleaner, these are the suggestions of how you should break down where you put your money. And if you notice, I'm not going to go through all of them, but if you notice, each of them have business savings. I'm actually going to put here true profit / reinvest for all of them. Typically, when you hear people say pay yourself first, pay your business first, it's that 5 to 10%, right? In profit first, it does suggest that you also give with your business. Again, I highly recommend it, but I do not have that percentage here. So when you are solo cleaner by yourself, 30 to 35% expenses, 40 to 40% for you, 15 to 20% set aside for taxes, and 5 to 10% for your business saving, which is your true profit, what your business really left with. And this is also for you to reinvest in your business, whether you want to. Again, I wouldn't say, again, it's really reinvest. So if you do not have a VA, and let's say for the last 3 months you did put aside 5 to 10%, and now it's like, okay, I need a VA, then it's time for you to reinvest and like, okay, I have X amount of dollars saved aside for the first month of my VA. My VA needs to work for themselves, and that's what I did to my VA. I had got the money to cover, but to let them know, in order for you to have a job, you're going to work your way and cover your own wage, essentially, which is, as a boss, you have employees. When you were an employee, they didn't hire you because you looked pretty. They hired you because you were going to create results for their business. That's the same way you should expect and have a standard for the people in your business. Same way. They should work to cover themselves, or else goodbye. No hard feelings that you're running a business. And then you could go through the other two. I'm actually going to highlight the pay for subcontractors. So for subcontractors, again, this is going to be a long live. In this checklist, the first 2 steps, anyone, whether you are solo employee or subcontractor, you could take the advice. After step 3, which is how to hire subcontractors, I'm really going to go into everything would be like subcontractors. I'm not talking about employees anymore because that's not where my expertise are. I never worked with employees and workers' comp and all that stuff. But when you have a subcontractor, you're paying off the job. You're going to get them anywhere from 40 to 50%. And then the leftover is 10 to 20, 20 to 25, 10 to 15 aside, and 5%. So now, this is also why, okay, when you know your numbers and you understand what's going to be allocated, you're going to have so much more confidence in ensuring that the value you provide for your client makes sense, making sure that your perceived value of your business is up there first. But then now you know you're not going to charge $90 because 50% is going to go to your subcontractor, 10% your business, 20% of you. You're going to make like $15. So for your own pay. That is why it's going to be so much easier to charge $200 minimum. It's going to be so much easier when you walk into a post-construction and say, yeah, it's $1,200, because you already know off the bat, 50% of it is going to be paid to subcontractors. Then I still have my expenses. Then I have my taxes. Then I also have business savings. And then from there's my owner's pay. See why when you know your numbers, charging your worth is easy. Now, taxes. So depending on where you are in the country, there's obligations when it comes to your taxes. I am not a tax expert. I do have a chat AI prompt to help figure out what that looks like for you, but I still highly recommend that you call your city or province officials to get verification for you. But here in Canada, you are not legally allowed to charge taxes without an HST number. You can voluntarily get an HST number without making, once you've made $30,000 in 2 consecutive quarters, then you must register for HST. But you can also voluntarily get HST. Common question I get is, should I get an HST number? Like, does it matter? I believe the perceived value of your business and your operation when you have an HST number is higher. When you work with commercial properties and that type of network, having HST is good, especially because for them, the tax write-offs too is the benefits for them. So having your tax, I would say, is great, because like at the end of the day, you have to pay that tax anyways, whether or not you actually charge it on your services, the government's going to ask you for the 10 to 15%. So you still have to accommodate that on your prices anyways. But again, I am not a tax accountant. Get your accountant and get those questions answered accurately. Okay, I love this part. Oh, maybe I didn't. Let me take a picture for you guys. But here, so finding your magic number based on, because you're doing this all in order, right? Based on your vision planning section in part 1, the last part, you would have already determined how much you want to be making personally, how much you want to take away. What's your goal? Take away for you, your household. You want to make it rain. You want an extra $1,000 a month. You just want to pay off debt. You need to know what that debt amount is, right? You need to know how much extra you need to be making your business to do so. That's why you start with your vision for business plan, because now you're going to use this and find what your magic number, how much should your monthly goal in your business be in order for you to have a takeaway of a substantial amount. So you're going to write down, how much do you want to take away each month? Personal income. I want to make extra $1,000. I want to make $3,000. I want to make sure that I'm bringing home $4,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever it looks like. I'm going to tell you right now, as a business owner, you're not going to want to be taking home any more than $10,000. I don't even think you want to reach $10,000 because you're going to be taxed on it, right? That's why business people have their tax loops. So technically, you're not going to even want to be taking home any more than $4,000 a month personally to save with your taxes, because your country's going to come for you. Y'all talk to your accountants to get your hookups, your loops. I'm not that person. But you're going to write down how much you want to make personally. You're going to multiply that number by 3.3, which is roughly is how much your business needs. And the reason why I say 3.3 is because you would have a owner pay of around 30, so from 40, 20, 15%. Because you need to make X more money in your business to be able to take away that, right? So if you want to take home of $4,000, you put $4,000 times 3.3, which is $1,300 and $200. Therefore, your business needs to be making $1,300 a month in order for you to have a takeaway of $4,000. I pray that helps you. And most people do not know that number. If you know that number, let me know in the comments. So that's it. Again, this checklist is completely free. Just check the description box on YouTube if you're seeing it live. This video will be incorporated in the video explanation. Thank you guys for the replays, for watching this 30 minutes in. That's amazing. Kudos to you. Now, tracking your business finances. So I have AI prompts to help you with how to break that down for yourselves. And you could create an Excel sheets for you personally. I don't know if you want to find Etsy sheets online, sure. But the tracking sheets that I use, they are in the Cleaning CEO Academy. Should you join the 90-day Launchpad, when you work with me, most of the time, the CEO Cleaner Academy at home. The reason why I do charge, because I was thinking, should I add it in? But there's just so much to the Excel, because there's 3 Excel sheets that kind of work with each other. So I don't think it makes sense for giving it to you for free if you don't understand how to use it. So that's why all that tracking tool stuff, should you want to use it, if you don't want to make it yourself, go ahead and join the CEO Cleaner Academy at home course, or work with me 101. But again, AI prompts down below. Now, CRM systems that's going to help with tracking your financials. Booking Koala, Jobber, those are the 2 that I've used personally that will help with tracking. Jobber has a higher intensive and extensive marketing breakdown. You could actually upload your expenses in there. You can actually it would actually break down the cost per job and all that stuff. Should you actually go through it and putting your numbers and stuff like that? It's just more advanced. Where Booking Qual is like your basic stuff. It just could tell you profit, expenses, da da da. But again, you can choose whichever one. I put the link in there to try. They both have free trials to see. I personally, for the contractor route, Booking Koala just seems it's more seamless for subcontractors, where Jobber is best for employees and or solo cleaners. I love Jobber, and Booking Koala has their kinks. But yeah, and then going out is your AI prompts to go ahead and figure out what your financial planning would look like, how much you need to be making your business in order for you to give your desired personal outcome, and then helping you find the tax information for your location. And please, again, talk to an accountant friend, talk to your providers, your country, city officials to get the most accurate information to date. And then obviously, every time there is a checklist to ensure that you go through this whole toolkit in order and you don't forget anything. All right. If you do want to join the Discord group, which is the support group, then I should add that to the beginning of this, actually. Nah. Yeah, I would add it here, the support group details. All right. Thank you so much for sitting down 40 minutes. I truly believe that is very helpful. Again, if you want this checklist completely free, just go ahead and check the link in the description box and or my profile, and everything is there for you. So thank you so much. And all I ask is that you just share your testimony, whether you email me, DM me, just share how it's helped so that I can share with my audience and more people can find this tool just like it helped you. You can help them too. Don't be a crab in a bucket. Help other people. Looking crazy.